Apple does it again. It seems like every time you get one of Apple's latest and greatest, they let you get comfortable just long enough that you get used to it. And then they drop something newer, something greater, the latest product that has you looking at your current one a little different. So am I going to be ditching my 16-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro for Apple's latest and greatest? Well, so a while back, I decided to start this YouTube channel, and I knew I needed a machine powerful enough to help me run it. I waited to see what Apple would have in store for us with their Pro MacBooks with Apple Silicon inside. The M1 Max MacBook Pro was said to be the best Apple had to offer. And after seeing the Apple event along with some reviews, I ordered a 16-inch M1 Max with its 10 CPU cores, 32 GPU cores, 32 gigs of unified memory, and 1 terabyte of storage for a low price of $3,500. So this is definitely not a cheap device. And now Apple announces a beast of a machine in the Mac Studio. The entry-level Mac Studio already comes pretty loaded with the M1 Max chip that has 10 CPU cores, 24 GPU cores, 32 gigs of unified memory, and 512 gigs of storage for a grand total of $2,000. That's $1,500 less than my M1 MacBook Pro. So, am I trading in my MacBook Pro for Apple's latest and greatest? The answer? It's simple. No. Let me explain. This 16-inch M1 Max might have cost me more, but it's also given me more upfront as well. Starting off with a gorgeous display, the Super Retina XDR is a mini LED display with 120 Hz refresh rate due to Apple's promotion technology. So not only does it provide rich, vibrant colors and deeper blacks, but it also has an adaptive refresh rate to keep everything on this display running silky smooth. With the Mac Studio, you either have a display already purchased or possibly pair the Mac Studio with the Studio display for an additional $1,600 minimum. Then there's the amazing keyboard that is a joy to use. Apple has replaced the touch bar with full height function keys that seem to be more usable than the touch bar ever was. The Mac Studio does not include a keyboard in the box, so again, this would be an additional purchase you would have to make along with either a mouse or a trackpad. Thankfully, Apple has you covered. They've also released a new Magic Keyboard with Touch ID along with a new Magic Mouse and trackpad to pair with the Mac Studio. And finally, there's performance. Now here is where things get interesting. Both machines run off the new M1 Max chips, but the entry-level Mac Studio has a bin-down chip, so instead of the full 32 GPU cores my 16-inch MacBook Pro gets, it only has 24. We'll have to wait for a comparison to see if there's a noticeable difference between the two. Another huge factor is the form factor. Do you need or want a laptop, or is a desktop more what you're looking for? Now, let's quickly address the elephant in the room. Apple's newest and most powerful chip yet, the M1 Ultra. With its 20 CPU cores, up to 64 GPU cores, and up to 128 gigabytes of unified memory, all wrapped up in this new Mac Studio with a starting price of $4,000 that can go as high as $8,000? This is not your run-of-the-mill desktop. I won't even begin to try to understand the level of power and performance this machine brings. I'll leave that to the pros. What I do know is as a new creator, this would be super overkill for my current setup. And I'm happy with my 16-inch M1 Max and what it brings to the table. But I'm excited to see what Apple has in store for us in the coming months. They are on a roll and it doesn't look like they're stopping anytime soon. So what do you guys think is next? Is the iMac Pro gone for good? Will the Mac Pro be the first with the M2 chips? Either way, stay tuned to the channel as we continue to follow the latest tech news and releases. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified, and I'll see you guys in the next one.